Direct speech repeats what someone has said. While indirect speech reports what someone has said. So it is the difference between repeats and reports. So direct speech always going to repeat something, whereas indirect speech is always going to report something. Take this example from direct speech. I'm happy, she said. So the indirect speech to this direct speech will be she said, and then that is optional. We may put it right here between the reporting and reported speech. She said that she was happy, and over here we don't have any inverted commas. So we are putting a period or a full stop at the end of this expression, that is indirect speech. So over here, what this person, I am happy, she said, if we keep on saying the same words by that person, she, then it is going to be our repetition. We are going to repeat the words uttered by the speaker, she. But if we are going to change the words and the tense over here, and there are no inverted commas over here, then this is actually a report. We are reporting something in our own words, but the sense remains same. So I am happy, she said, and she said that she was happy. There is no difference as far as the sense or the meanings are concerned. The difference is only the choice of words. So use quotation marks to repeat what someone has said in direct speech. There are many occasions in which we need to describe an event or action that happened, and very often that includes repeating what someone said. So we repeat on some occasions the words uttered by the speaker. In order to describe what people said, there are two different types of speech: direct speech and indirect speech. And indirect speech may also be called reported speech. This may also be named as reported speech or indirect speech. When we want to describe what someone said, one option is to use direct speech. We use direct speech when we simply repeat what someone says, putting the phrases between speech marks. So this is one example. John came in and said, then we have a comma over here, and then over here we have got inverted commas, or we may call them, we know that these are inverted commas or double quotation marks. It's very common to see direct speech used in books or in newspaper articles, like the local MP said, and then there is a comma. We have this comma over here, and then these are double quotation marks. The local member parliament or MP said, we plan to make this city a safer place for everyone we can say that this double quotation marks, these one, this one and this one, these double quotation marks actually tell us that this is the actual wording or the actual utterance by the local MP, and we are over here reporting, or we are actually repeating. So there is the local MP said, what did he say? That is being repeated, and this is called direct speech, because the actual utterance is being repeated by the speaker over here or by the narrator over here. As you can see, with direct speech, it is common to use the verb say. We may use it for present, say, present tense or the simple form, and the past form is going to be said. So this is something say, and then this is the past form. But you can also find other verbs used to indicate direct speech, such as we may use ask or reply, or we may use the word shout, etc. There are so many. When Mrs. Dalloway opened the door, I asked, and then there is a comma over here, and we have these double quotation marks, and there is a question mark as well. Have you seen Martin? So this is the question that was asked by Mrs. Dalloway. So when Mrs. Dalloway opened the door, I asked from this person, Mrs. Dalloway, have you seen Martin? So these are the actual utterance by this person, I. So she replied. Now this is the response by Mrs. Dalloway. No, I haven't seen him since lunchtime. Again, these double quotation marks and this comma, again this one, these are actually showing that this is the repetition of the actual wording. She replied. Now this person or Mrs. Dalloway, whatever she said, that is being repeated. And the actual wording or actual utterance by Mrs. Dalloway is, no, I haven't seen him since lunchtime. When we want to report what someone said, if we want to report what someone said without speech marks, these may also be called double quotation marks, but at the same time these are called speech marks. Why speech marks? Because these are reported speech marks. So as I said, when we want to report what someone said without speech marks and without necessarily using exactly the same words, we can use indirect speech. So once we are eliminating these speech marks or double quotation marks, then we are actually reporting something. We are not repeating the actual utterance by the speaker. So they say, we are quite cold in here, and the indirect speech or the report will be, they say, and this is optional, that they are cold, and we may write over here in there. Instead of in here, we will put, instead of here, we will put there. So they say that they are cold in there. It means that this was the actual utterance with double quotation marks, but over here we are having only one period at the end or full stop. So this is being reported by someone or the narrator in his own wording, and there is a little bit change from the real utterance to this one. We are not having the same words over there. So, as I said, they say, we are quite cold in here. They say that they are quite, we may write quite cold in there. He told me he was going to call Ellen. Again, this is reporting. We are not repeating, rather we are reporting. These are not the real utterance or real words uttered by the speaker. They told her they would arrive a little late. Again, this is also a report by the narrator. You told us you had already finished the order. So again, this one is also a reporting by the narrator, not the real words, because we have a period at the end and there are no speech marks or double quotation marks. Once we convert a direct to indirect, keep these things in your mind. If there is a phrase like last week in direct speech, once we are reporting that or we are converting that direct into indirect, it will be converted the previous week. Last week, the previous week. Tomorrow, the following day. Yesterday, the previous day. Now becomes then. This becomes that. Here becomes there. Come is going to become go.